Good morning, angels, and welcome to the Memory Lane Agency, where we specialize in unearthing all the juicy facts about our favorite classics. Today's mission covers Charlie's Angels, the smokin' squad of badass babes who solved mysteries and busted the bad guys. But some mysteries were left for behind the scenes, and that's exactly what we're gonna uncover today. I'm your host, Nostalgic Nick, with all the little-known details behind Charlie's Angels. From the shocking changes the show underwent before even getting off the ground, to the presidential endorsements the Angels received. And hey, if you enjoy our Angelic deep dive, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. But now we gotta go to handle some very hazardous duties. Voice of an Angel. Now it's time to meet Charlie's alley cats. Well, the original script for Charlie's Angels had a slightly different premise with a very different name. The original trio was named Allie, Lee, and Catherine, together known as the Alley Cats. They also worked directly with the police as leather-clad karate black belts. But when ABC's Michael Eisner heard that pitch, he gave the glowing review of, quote, "the worst idea I've ever heard." In fact, the whole formula of a female-led cast was predominantly hated by the ABC execs.
You don't understand, things are starting to heat up.
Yet, even with this pending title and premise, Kate Jackson, aka Sabrina Duncan, was already working with producer Aaron Spelling when she visited Spelling's home. The previous owner of the home was a little-known crooner named Frank Sinatra, and Sinatra had hung a painting in the office featuring 3 angels. And when Jackson saw it, she suggested renaming the squad Angels, and they had it, Harry's Angels. But wait, they said, there already was an investigative show called Harry O currently on the air. So minus a Harry and add a Charlie, and now we're cooking. Nearly Angels. Pretty famously, several stunning women played the lovely angels, but several other notable babes were heavily considered that would have really changed the dynamics. Producers reached out to the likes of Priscilla Presley, Michelle Pfeiffer, Kathy Lee Gifford, and Kim Basinger. Priscilla outright refused, and Basinger turned down the role of Chris Monroe to build a film career. But both Pfeiffer and Kathy Lee were favorites to play Tiffany Wells. But Shelley Hack came away with the season 4 replacement. Meanwhile, that iconic voice of Charlie was a last-minute addition. The series first aired on September 22nd, 1976, and John Forsythe was cast days before the big release. Producers kind of went with this and kept his casting a secret, but there's really no keeping the patriarch of Dynasty silent. Also, amazingly, he reportedly read his lines while lounging in pajamas, which kinda fits Charlie in a way. Producers had to rush to find a new Charlie when their original choice, Gig Young, turned up to record his lines while completely drunk. That's one fast way to lose a gig.
I don't know whether there's a message there somewhere.
Seen and unseen. Charlie's Angels wouldn't be Charlie's Angels without those angels. But for how instrumental they were, only one appeared in the whole series. Jacqueline Smith's Kelly Garrett stayed for the whole 5-season run. The titular Charlie never actually appeared in a single episode. His lines were just recordings, and he never spoke in a live shot. And for John Forsythe, this was exactly what he wanted. He preferred keeping his distance from the show, and he ensured this too, saying if they wanted him to appear in person, he was gonna charge a ton. And for the whole production, Forsythe never stepped foot onto the set. The poster.
Hold that pose!
If you grew up in the 70s, or pretty much any time since, you know that infamous Farrah Fawcett poster. You know, the one that sold 12 million copies? And it became promotional material for Charlie's Angels. Although the poster predates the show itself. ABC recruited photographer Bruce McBloom, a friend of the Fawcett Majors family, to take pictures while filming the pilot. Only Farrah agreed to pose for a poster, and the now infamous red bathing suit poster was shot 6 whole months before the pilot even aired. Taken right in front of Farrah's own home. And though she was the only angel willing to make a poster, Kate Jackson was the only angel to receive an Emmy nomination. The show overall received 4 nominations, but never won. Join the club. When you're an angel, you've got friends in high places, in more ways than one. President Gerald Ford may have lost an election to Jimmy Carter, but he could never lose those angels. As Ford was an outspoken fan of Charlie's Angels, saying it was one of his favorite shows on television, and he even got to visit the set. And Charlie's Angels fans exist in all walks of life. Even philosophical fountainhead author Ayn Rand talked about her interest in the show when she was on the history-making talk show Donahue.
You liked Charlie's Angels?
Yes, because it's the only romantic television show today.
Famous fashion. Time for some quick math. Each angel would go through about 8 costume changes per show, and 3 angels multiplied by 115 episodes, and wowzers. To keep the angels looking fresh cost the team a whopping $20,000 in wardrobe fees, with most outfits designed by Nolan Miller. For more shocking context, that budget is equal to the starting salary for the trio of angels. And even today, some of that wardrobe still enjoys the limelight. Farrah Fawcett's red bathing suit became so iconic paired with the show that it now has a forever home in the Smithsonian's American Cultural History collection. Litigation loopholes. Farrah Fawcett balanced a few responsibilities during the filming.
I just took a shower with Farrah Fawcett.
Shampoo Joe.
She appeared in numerous national shampoo commercials and maintained a strong, if very turbulent, marriage with the $6 million man himself, Lee Majors. Farrah was determined to make their marriage work, so in her contract with Aaron Spelling, she required that shooting ended promptly at 7 p.m., so she had time to go home and cook dinner for her husband. Problem was, her agreement with ABC was mostly verbal. The Angels had it all: fame, beauty, merchandise, and an ideal time slot for maximum viewership. Then, Farrah quit the show. She cited marriage problems and dreams of movie stardom. Except the mostly verbal contract demanded more from her, and Spelling and ABC sued Farrah for $7 million worth of breach of contract. After some back and forth, they reached a compromise. She'd be required to make 6 guest appearances within the next 2 seasons. But Farrah faced a fervent fallout for her choice. She stated, quote, "The industry was furious with me. People thought I was really pretentious, and for months, no one would touch me. I was poison." Some of this blacklisting resulted in Goldie Hawn winning the lead role in Foul Play over Fawcett, and Farrah would end up divorcing Lee Majors in 1982. And for more on their turbulent marriage, and to catch up with Lee Majors and the rest of the OSI, we have a better, faster, stronger cast rewind you can watch next. Angelgate. In 1973, Aaron Spelling served as the executive producer for the TV movie The Affair, starring Hollywood couple Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood. To get this famous duo into his movie, Spelling promised that they could co-own a future Spelling TV show. Their backing was kept private, but they were entitled to 50% of the show's profits. This arrangement became public when Wagner sued Spelling Goldberg Productions, after he found out that his funding, meant exclusively for Charlie's Angels, was getting redirected to help fund Starsky and Hutch, and the subsequent mess of the scandal got its own name from the press: Angelgate. Heavenly humor. Despite the show being a crime adventure, the cast had a pretty great sense of humor, perfect for breaking that high-action tension.
Jill, you look terrible.
After Farrah Fawcett's Jill Monroe left after the first season, Cheryl Ladd's Chris Monroe joined the fun, and she kept things light. At the time, Farrah's last name was Majors, so when Ladd arrived for her first day on set, she wore a shirt that said Farrah Minor. One of the most memorable episodes remains Angels in Chains, where they go undercover in a women's prison, and the trio gets shackled together, except that when they cut for lunch, the crew pulled the nice prank of leaving the women chained together. Hey, it was a great team-building exercise. Meanwhile, David Doyle, who also stayed for the entire show, as the fretful and fussy John Bosley, got his last name because his actor, poor David Doyle, was always mistaken for the actor and Happy Days father, Tom Bosley. And I get the feeling, David, I am constantly mistaken for reminiscent Rick. Angels, boats, and automobiles. Cast shakeups are divisive. One example being the controversial change from Dick York to Dick Sargent in Bewitched. And when Charlie's Angels brought on Shelley Hack, the show wanted to keep momentum going, so Aaron Spelling put together a crossover episode with The Love Boat. The season 4 premiere saw the Angels investigate a stash of gold and bronze worth $5 million. Sadly, it wasn't worth better ratings, and Shelley was dismissed a season later. In her eyes, the producers played a numbers game, moved to a different time slot, or bring in some new hype. And that hype was yet another angel hunt. If you want to ride like an angel, you can. Because since President Ford was such a huge fan, all the Angels drove Ford vehicles, specifically the cars of choice, a Mustang II Ghia, a Mustang Cobra II, and the Ford Pinto. Well, Angels, that was another successful mission. It's fun to think about the near Angels and what that would have done to the show, and to think if Farrah had only stayed longer. Oh well, she had some races to win overseas. So let's discuss. Did you have a favorite angel over the years? Do you remember a specific episode of the show that you really enjoyed? And what about the film reboot attempts? Any fans of those? We read every single comment. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up for us, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a memory. From all of us here at Do You Remember, thanks so much for watching.
Fantastico.